I'm Ivana Sequeira. I go to Coral Reef Senior High School and I'm a senior. So I had been doing SAT preparation just on my own, and then I worked with another service for a little bit. And I had seen some improvement in my score, but more leaning towards my reading score. So I'd had a pretty significant improvement for my reading score, but not so much for math. And so I decided that over the summer I was gonna take the opportunity to focus on my math score so that um, my section scores would be more equal. And so I chose to work with Piece of Pie. I think what was really, I guess, lacking was that I wasn't I guess focusing as much on the really, really difficult questions that tend to get you, I guess, above a 700. On the SAT, I was focusing more on the questions that are more, I guess, in the like 650-ish range, I'd assume. And so I think it was important to focus more on the more difficult questions because those are the ones that I tended to be getting wrong. I think a lot of it was the wording of the questions and not necessarily understanding what I was being asked to do. And then also, I think I struggled a lot with timing. I think, especially in the second module when the questions get harder, I had to spend more time trying to figure out what the question was asking me. And so I was losing time having to do that. I just wanted to have a more competitive score for my college applications. I know that I go to a very competitive school with a lot of really high caliber students. And so I really wanted to, I guess, have a higher SAT score so that it adds to my application and adds another factor that admissions officers can look at that can hopefully push them to accept me into their school. I think I was worried about um, the time commitment for class because seeing a nearly 4.5 hour class, I was worried that I would just kind of get distracted and zone out a lot because that's something I've noticed myself doing kind of in school, and my classes aren't nearly that long. Um, but yeah, I think that was my biggest worry. I noticed that it's actually not, it doesn't feel like 4 hours. I mean, obviously some classes are more difficult than others, and that can maybe drag the time out a little bit, but you're active the whole time, and it's not like you have someone sitting in front of you trying to explain a question to you. It's like you're actively doing the question. And so that helps you or helps the time move a lot faster. I honestly really liked it. I think it was helpful, um, in the sense that obviously it being virtual, it's a little bit easier to go to a session. If I have another commitment or I have to be somewhere, I just need to have my laptop with me and then I can join the session from wherever I am. So that was definitely helpful. And then I think the group environment just relieves the pressure a little bit of being in a session by yourself, especially for such a long period of time. And it allows you to kind of see how other students may interpret a question because maybe they explain it and you like the way they did it better. It's easier to understand, and then you can learn from that as well. I definitely did. Yeah, I think it was really consistent. I had several tutors throughout the prep, but overall it was really consistent in terms of their ne level of knowledge. And I know that I was in one of the more advanced groups, and I never felt like any of my tutors struggled to explain any of the concepts. I think it gave us an opportunity to just, if we needed to take a short little break, just have like a short conversation or just try to lighten the mood a little bit so it wasn't so, I guess, awkward over Zoom. And that definitely helped with creating a more welcoming environment. It was definitely difficult, but I think the biggest thing for me is that I did do the prep course during the summer, and I think that gave me a lot more time to focus on it. I think had I chosen to wait a little bit, I would have definitely struggled a lot trying to balance the workload of my schoolwork and then also doing prep work. But I think overall, because I had the additional time being on summer break, it was pretty manageable to do everything. I would say it's definitely intense, but I think it very much is like a holistic service. I think they do a lot um, behind the scenes to make sure you're getting everything that you need to, and so that your studying and preparation for the SAT goes as smoothly as possible. And I think they have such a large team that's really helpful to make sure that your questions are always answered. Um, and overall, I think everything runs really smoothly, and so it just makes everything super easy. One thing that I noticed that was super important was seeing questions repeatedly and seeing the same type of question with different numbers just to get used to the phrasing of the question or get used to a specific strategy. Because I think that helped a lot in the SAT, being able to notice the patterns and just being able to look at the form of a question or an equation that they give me and know what to do immediately. And I think that also helped me a lot in terms of like the timing of the test as well. So for math, I believe a 50 point improvement as of August, but I took the September SAT last week as well. But overall, so far, 50 point improvement. I think it's just helped a lot with alleviating stress. Because now I feel like I have a more competitive score. And I think when I look at past score distributions for the schools that I want to apply to, I feel like I'm more within the range of the students that they accept. And so I think that is definitely helpful in alleviating stress about college apps. It may be an expensive service, but I think you are getting a lot out of it. I think it is a 10-week program, or at least the summer program was 10 weeks. And so it's obviously quite lengthy, and then also there's so much provided to you um, that I think it most definitely is worth. I would honestly say a 10. I think I had a lot of support, and I think I obviously had a pretty significant score improvement. And so I think um, everything that I got out of it makes it worth it for other people to try it out. I would say just to put everything you can into it. I think the service is so comprehensive already, and they're giving you so much. And obviously, I guess if you just do your homework and go to class, that can obviously get you a decent score improvement. But I think going above and beyond, with the resources that they give you and trying to just make the most out of every class and every homework assignment can help you really get, to your maximum score.